Karoline Leavitt, SUES liberal TV show, after shocking comments on Live or Aid, canceled them. They mocked her. They interrupted her. They thought they could destroy her reputation with a few calculated words, but they had no idea who they were up against. When Karoline Leavitt walked onto that talk show set, she expected tough questions. What she didn't expect was an ambush. From the moment she sat down, the energy shifted. The smiles were fake. The questions, loaded. The goal, humiliation. But they underestimated her. What happened next sent shockwaves across the internet. Within hours, the clip went viral. Sponsors pulled out. The network scrambled. And now, the very people who tried to break her are facing the consequences. The cameras rolled, the lights burned bright, and the stage was set. Karoline Leavitt walked onto the talk show set, expecting a debate. What she got was an ambush. From the moment she took her seat, the energy in the room shifted. The hosts weren't there to discuss policy. They weren't there for a fair exchange of ideas. They had one goal: to tear her down. The first few questions were standard, predictable. But then the attack came. A smirking host leaned in, voice dripping with condescension. "Let's be real, Karoline. You didn't get here on merit. You're just loyal." Laughter rippled through the audience. The trap had been set. They wanted her flustered, defensive. But Karoline didn't bite. She smiled, poised and unshaken. If they thought she would crumble, they were about to learn the hard way. She was built for this fight. The bright lights of the TV studio flickered as the cameras rolled, capturing the poised expressions of the talk show hosts. They had planned this moment meticulously, knowing their audience thrived on controversy. Tonight's guest? Karoline Leavitt, young, articulate, and fiercely loyal to her beliefs. But she wasn't just another guest. She was a target. Behind the scenes, producers exchanged knowing glances, cue cards shuffled, and loaded questions were prepared. The hosts weren't looking for a fair discussion. They were setting a trap. They wanted viral moments, sound bites that would fuel headlines. They expected her to fumble, to be overwhelmed by their rapid-fire accusations. The audience, a mix of eager spectators and carefully selected partisans, was primed to react at the right moments. Applause signs flickered. Microphones were adjusted. Everything was in place. Then Karoline walked in, confident, unshaken, ready. Little did the hosts know, they weren't setting her up for failure. They were setting themselves up for humiliation. The moment Karoline settled into her seat, the tone was set. The hosts exchanged smirks, their body language dripping with condescension. They weren't here for a conversation. They were here for a takedown. The lead host leaned forward, eyes narrowing. "Karoline, you're young, inexperienced, and representing a political ideology many say is outdated. Why should anyone take you seriously?" The audience chuckled. Right on cue. It was an ambush, and Karoline knew it. Another host jumped in. "You've never held a major political office. Don't you think you're just repeating talking points without real understanding?" Their strategy was clear. Undermine her, shake her confidence, make her flustered. They expected hesitation, stammering, maybe even an emotional reaction. But Karoline wasn't rattled. She let the moment breathe, offering a measured smile before responding. If experience were the only measure of credibility, then half this panel wouldn't be sitting here today. The audience gasped. The hosts weren't expecting that. She continued, her voice steady. "I may be young, but that doesn't make my views less valid. Facts don't come with an age requirement." The smirks faded. The hosts glanced at each other. Their plan had backfired. The real show had just begun. The tension in the room was thick. The hosts had thrown their best jabs, expecting Karoline to crumble under pressure. But instead of backing down, she leaned in, eyes locked on them. "Let's talk about credibility," she said, her voice unwavering. "You question my experience, but let's look at the facts." She pulled out a small stack of papers, statistics, direct quotes, undeniable evidence. The audience murmured, "You claim my views are extreme, yet over 60% of Americans support the very policies I stand for. These aren't just my opinions, they're the views of the majority." One host interrupted, scoffing. "Those numbers are misleading." Karoline didn't flinch. "They're from your own network's poll last month. Are you saying your data is unreliable?" Silence. The host's mouth opened, then closed. The audience reacted, a mix of gasps and scattered applause. Karoline wasn't done. "You say I don't understand policy, yet I've debated sitting senators and corrected them on live television. If facts don't matter, then what are we even debating?" A ripple of tension spread across the panel. The hosts, who had started with smug confidence, now looked visibly uncomfortable. The tables had turned. Then came the final blow. "You brought me here expecting me to struggle. Instead, you've shown America exactly why people are tired of mainstream media. If facts threaten your narrative, maybe the problem isn't me. It's you." A stunned hush fell over the studio. The moment would go viral. Millions would replay it. And Karoline, she had just redefined the game. The air was thick with tension. The hosts, who had been so confident just moments ago, were now visibly rattled. They exchanged awkward glances, their rehearsed narrative crumbling in real time. One of them forced a nervous chuckle. "Well, Karoline, that's certainly one way to look at it." But the audience wasn't buying it. Some were nodding at Karoline's words. Others were outright clapping. Another host quickly tried to regain control. "Okay, but let's be honest here. Your views are still controversial and—" Karoline tilted her head. "Controversial or just inconvenient for your agenda?" The host stammered, searching for a comeback. The audience reaction grew louder. The show, meant to be an easy takedown of Karoline, had turned into an unintentional showcase of media bias. Live for the whole country to see. "We're just asking tough questions," one host insisted. "And I'm giving tough answers," Karoline shot back. "That's the difference." The producers, sensing disaster, scrambled behind the cameras. They signaled for a shift, an abrupt topic change, anything to salvage what was left of their show. But the damage was done. The audience had witnessed the setup, the attempted ambush, and now the undeniable backpedaling. Social media was already buzzing. Karoline remained calm, composed, in complete control. The hosts, they were floundering, their own plan blowing up in their faces. And America was watching every second of it. The moment the interview ended, the internet exploded. Within minutes, clips of Karoline's takedown were everywhere. Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, hashtags like #Karoline owns the media and #mic drop moments started trending. The comment sections were on fire. "She destroyed them! Finally, someone who doesn't back down." One user posted. "They tried to corner her and she turned the tables. Absolutely legendary," another wrote. Even people who didn't normally follow politics were watching the clip. Memes popped up instantly. Karoline's confident smirk versus the host's panicked faces. Reaction videos flooded YouTube. The media scrambled to respond. Some outlets doubled down, calling her performance controversial. Others admitted reluctantly that the interview hadn't gone as planned. Meanwhile, the talk show hosts, silent, no tweets, no damage control statements, just silence. Karoline, on the other hand, embraced the moment. She tweeted a simple, "Facts greater than feelings, always." It racked up millions of likes within hours. It wasn't just an interview, it was a cultural moment, and it wasn't fading anytime soon. Karoline walked into that studio expecting a fight, but she left as the clear winner. The hosts had set a trap, but they were the ones who got caught. Instead of breaking her, they made her stronger, her message louder, her supporters more energized. The viral clip wasn't just a moment, it was a statement. People were fed up with media manipulation, and Karoline had just exposed it on live TV. As for the hosts, their silence said it all. No spin, no excuses, just the reality of a failed ambush. One thing was clear. Karoline wasn't just another guest. She was a force to be reckoned with. And this was only the beginning. If you enjoyed watching Karoline stand her ground and expose the truth, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps. Subscribe to stay updated on more eye-opening moments like this. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. What do you think about how the host handled this? Drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you know someone who needs to see this, Share it with them now. Let's keep the conversation going.